So welcome back everybody, welcome back to Blaugrana Planet, and today guys, we are gonna be reviewing Victor Font's interview for Diario Sport, in which he claims that Barça, as of today, cannot sign Nico Williams, guys. Big statement from Victor Font himself, a little bit controversial, I must say. Certainly, Victor Font has had a lot to say in this interview for El Diario Sport, one of the most renowned newspapers, digital newspapers nowadays. You know, it's all digital newspaper of Barcelona. Of course, there is Diario Sport, there is El Mundo Deportivo. Victor Font is a relentless candidate for, or right now, former candidate, I'd say, for the presidency, and future candidate, because if he's still giving interviews, it's because he wants to present himself to the next presidential elections, which will be held by the end of the season of 2026, literally in 2 years from now. Of course, a lot of things can happen, but he wants to keep his flame alive, and that's what he did with this interview, in which, well, he made big statements, guys, very big statements, saying that Nico Williams is not going to be possible for Football Club Barcelona. Of course, I think that Joan Laporta didn't say the last word yet. We will see. Of course, it's very, very hard, very complicated. Maybe if it's not Nico Williams, it could be Dani Olmo, but maybe it could be nobody. This is what Mr. Victor Font claims. He says that we don't have any money. In this interview that we're going to be reviewing the highlights, and I'm going to be giving you my opinion, and of course I want everybody to interact. By the way, smash the like button if you haven't done so already, and let me know where you guys are tuning in from, and I'm very thankful. I'm looking forward to what you guys have to say about every topic. Mr. Victor Font made some big statements. Of course, the biggest statement says that as it stands, as of today, Barcelona cannot sign Nico Williams. Victor Font claims that Laporta said it is possible. Okay, Laporta said that it is possible to sign a player of this caliber. He didn't say it is possible to sign Nico Williams explicitly, but he said a player of this caliber. Maybe you can make the assumption that he was talking about Nico Williams. Victor Font went on, continued by saying the financial situation is worse now than when Laporta came, than when Laporta arrived. We have more debts and fewer assets. More debts, of course. He probably assumes that we have the debt of the new stadium, which is logic. I don't know if you wanted to stay in the old stadium where you literally couldn't play because it was falling apart, but I don't know. Victor Font, in my opinion, in this interview, which we're going to be reviewing, and it's very interesting, I see Legend Killer, my G from Suriname. Thank you for your comments. I see Lamin, I see Scrolling Santos. Yeah, thank you guys for commenting. In my opinion, in this interview that we're going to be reviewing, I think that, and not only in this interview, but in every interaction that Victor Font has, and every interaction with the press, and every, interaction that he has overall in his campaign, pre-campaign, we could say, he criticizes a lot. He's always bashing Laporta, and I can understand it, because, you know, he is a candidate to replace Laporta. But on the other hand, and it's something that bothers me, and believe me, I know people that of the surroundings of Victor Font. I even know the people that manage the press releases and the press conferences, and, you know, the press management overall of Victor Font. They're good friends of mine, in fact. It bothers me that he criticizes a lot, but he doesn't give any solutions, and we're gonna look it up. Look at this, guys. First of all, he says that, okay, we have fewer assets, talking about what, Barça Studios, like, dude, we created this shit out of nothing and we sold it for like 200, 400 million, you know. I think we have to give credit to Laporta, but of course, there are some things that I back about Victor Font in this interview. And, you know, I'm not biased. I'm not going to be towards Laporta, neither towards Victor Font. I'm just going to give you my opinion, my full opinion. I think, honestly, that Laporta could manage to sign a player like Nico Williams. I believe he will be able to if we close the deal with Nike, if we get paid the 40 million euro that Libero didn't pay for the Barça Studios, I think that it is possible. Of course, at the end of the day, we are, today is the 1st of August, almost nearly the 2nd of August for many of you, and here in Barcelona it's 11 p.m. Well, as of today, 1st of August, La Liga is starting the 17th of August, 16th, 17th. And there's no departures, there's no arrivals, there's nothing happening. Of course, Victor Font right now has a statement. He went on to say, look at this, because it's very interesting, you know, he criticizes a lot, and then what are his solutions, what are his alternatives? We don't know, because he says, look, he was asked, how can we recover the debt? You know, that he said, we have such a huge debt. So the reporter says, okay, how can we recover the debt in your opinion? He said, to recover its debt, Barça should generate benefits. If you have more income than expenses, that generates a benefit that you can use to sign players and pay debt. I don't know, man. I think this is pretty obvious, no? I think this is pretty clear, pretty obvious, no? You can generate more income than expenses, then you have a profit. I think this is Economics 101, Mr. Victor Font. And this is a constructive critic to you, Victor Font. When you criticize, if you want to convince everybody, instead of spreading shit around, give solutions. Give solutions. This is not the solution. Of course, we know that you can, if you generate more income than expenses, you generate a benefit and you can sign players, etc. Of course, give us a solution, give us an alternative. Then people will listen to you more, no? Am I right or am I wrong? I'll ask you guys. And, you know, he went on to criticize Laporta heavily. He said, many socios of the club wish to turn the page on the regime of 2003. Like if Laporta was like Nicolás Maduro from Venezuela, literally, like the regime of 2003, referring to Laporta's first mandate, of course, and making an assumption that this second mandate of Laporta is like the first mandate of Laporta in 2003, and this is like a regime, I don't know, some Venezuelan regime of something, you know, I don't know. And professionalize the club and dream of getting the best Barça back. So, you know, I don't doubt, let me tell you guys, I don't doubt that Victor Font could be a great president. I don't doubt it. I don't. This guy has a big company under his arm, Delta Partners, and is a company that does assessment, you know. They give advice to people. So this guy is not a stupid guy, you know. He's not stupid. He's not stupid. Certainly not a politician. Certainly not a politician. And to become the president of Barcelona, you need to be a little bit smart in terms of politics and in terms of how to create a campaign, to make people follow you, etc., etc. You need to be a true leader, you know. And I think that Laporta does this very well, because he really gets people to believe in him with hope, you know, and of course the great success that he had in 2003, and on and on and on, and the way he reconverted Barça, Mezcum Club, etc., you know. So he has the power of this. He has that leadership of saying, look, we're gonna do this, and people can see the way he feels Barcelona and the way he breathes Barcelona and the way Barça is running through his veins. You know, people can see it because the guy goes all in, and of course he's not the best manager, he's not the best director, CEO, or you know, director of the club. He's not the best. He's not the best financial guy. He's not the best banker. He's not the best of anything, but he's the best in getting the people with enthusiasm to believe in this club. That's why he's great. Laporta getting votes of people. Instead, Victor Font, I think he's more, you know, more of a business guy. He's more, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's different. It's different, right? So this is the advice I gave to Victor Font's environment. And I hope it went directly to Victor Font, is instead of criticizing, start making people believe in your project through illusion, not illusion, how can I say it? It's through faith, through belief, through faith, through enthusiasm. That's the way, right? Not criticizing, bashing Laporta non-stop. Because imagine Laporta now is the president. Imagine now with Hansi Flick, we win the Champions League or we win La Liga or we win two leagues in a row. We get to the semi-finals of the Champions League, we get to the final of the Champions League, maybe we don't win it, but things go well. Victor Font's critics will go nowhere, you know? And he will be exposed as the guy who's criticizing, bashing Laporta all the time. But anyways, you know, he can do whatever he wants. It's his money that he's investing in the campaign. I would do it differently. Victor Font talked about the management of the club overall, and he said, we are clear of the club's potential. Creating the ideal conditions, people like Messi, Guardiola or Puyol can bring value to the club. The best should be working here. And this is something, honestly, that I agree with him. Because I think that the management of Laporta, he is improvising a bit. He even himself said that this is going to be a presidentialist candidacy or presidentialist mandate, meaning that this guy is going to take fucking decisions by himself, literally, like decisions by himself. Like the guy wakes up and he says, look, we're going to do this. He goes to the board of directors, says, look, guys, we need to do this. And the board of directors are going to put little to no denial to the decision, you know? It's not like, okay, there is a board of experts where they analyze every situation carefully and then they take a decision altogether, you know? Like, no. It's more of a Laporta decides this and the board of director kind of backs his decision. And at the end of the day, things have not been done perfectly executed, like the departure of Messi, the fact that Guardiola spent 8 years in Man City and only 4 in Barcelona, the fact that Puyol is not, I don't know, a living legend sitting on the stands of the Camp Nou every day, things like this, you know? And I think that maybe Laporta can improve in that. Certainly can improve in that. Certainly, I think the plan of Laporta is very light, if there is any plan. If there is any plan. Because one thing Laporta is good at is at freestyling, you know, improvising. So this statement I back from Victor Font. Moving on, of course the reporter wanted to challenge him a little bit, wanted to challenge Victor Font, and he asked him about Xavi. You know, you were backing Xavi a lot. What do you think about his tenure in Barcelona? And he said Xavi's stage at Barca was very wobbly. Quite unstable, and despite winning La Liga and a Spanish Super Cup, it was under the expectations. The performance of Xavi was under the expectations. Of course, he had to argument it and bash Laporta. And he went on to say, I believe that Xavi was influenced by how he arrived. Do you guys remember how he arrived? He arrived in November after Koeman was like sacked, after Laporta gave him a second chance, you know. During summer, Laporta was like, okay, we're gonna fire you, but then he didn't find anybody. And then Koeman stayed, but Koeman stayed knowing that he was gonna be fired if there was somebody else that could fit the position. And then Koeman stayed for 6 months and it was a disaster. We were like 9th in La Liga, and then Xavi arrived. Xavi ended up putting us in the second position. And Victor Font keeps on saying, okay, so he was influenced by the way he arrived, by the lack of sportive structure and governance. It was unknown who was signed, why, and with what criteria. Cases like Victor Roque, or other players with these circumstances, it's very difficult to operate. I think that Victor Font here has a statement. The fact that, okay, that Laporta is improvising a lot, and here I back him, yet again, I back him. But on the other hand, guys, I think that he went too far here. Saying that it was unknown who was signed, why, and with what criteria. Like maybe Xavi wasn't involved in any of the signings. And maybe like the signings were crap, you know, because he mentions Victor Roque, but I want to read you the signings that Joan Laporta did since he arrived. Adama Traoré, Luke de Jong, Dani Alves, Rafinha, Koundé, Lewandowski, Kessié, Christensen, Bellerín, Marcos Alonso, Ferran Torres, Agüero, Aubameyang. Amazing. This last year, Gundogan, Íñigo Martínez, Oriol Romeu, Joao Félix, Cancelo, and at last, Victor Roque took over because we made some space after Xavi's injury in the financial fair play because of this law of La Liga, and there was a space to fit in Victor Roque. And I think here Victor Font himself is a little bit unfair, saying that we have no criteria on the signings, and like if Xavi didn't have any decision, did he have any decision on the arrival of Rafinha, Koundé, Lewandowski, Kessie, Christensen, Bellerin? I think he did, no? I think he did. And we had Mateo Alemany as well in the interview, and I didn't highlight it and I didn't show it, but in the interview he praises Mateo Alemany in the interview. You guys can watch it. He praises Mateo Alemany at the beginning, like there's a little bit like saying, oh, I'm sad that Mateo Alemany left. But then he criticizes the work of Mateo Alemany because he says it was unknown who was signed. Okay, I don't know. See, you know what I mean about criticizing a lot? You shouldn't criticize too much. Maybe a little bit here and there, you know? But not base your whole campaign on Laporta is not the president we should have. That's the whole thing, right? So, guys, I listed the whole transfers Laporta did. I think that Xavi could have been involved in many of these signings, I assume. No, otherwise Xavi would have rebelled. I guess. So I think that Laporta improvises a bit, but at the beginning of his tenure, of this second mandate, he did have an amazing team. You can't deny it. Ferran Reverter, the CEO, Mateo Alemany, Jordi Cruyff, and a few others. And at last, he said, Xavi's departure was a very clear example on the actual governance of the institution. I think that opened the eyes of many people. Of course, here I kind of agree and disagree. At the end of the day, Xavi promised Laporta that he believed in the team and that he was all in, you know, and that he was gonna do everything possible. Yet after a few days in the first press conference after their meeting, where they held a meeting in the home of Laporta, not very far from my house, in fact, they were eating sushi, and Xavi said, look, thank you for trusting in me, and I will do my best. So Laporta said, okay, then you will stay next year. Literally 2 days or 3 days after, in the press conference, in the first press conference that Xavi gave for the pre-game of some game, I can't remember the game, Xavi literally said, this is what it is and we can't do anything about the team. Like, dude, like, you don't believe in the team. Like, he betrayed Laporta because he said that he believed everything and he was going to do everything possible and that with this team we could do great things. But yet again, the guy didn't believe because he said it himself in the press conference. Then Laporta said, look, for the best of Barcelona, you need to go. I understand that it was kind of a disaster of a situation, no? Because first you say that that Xavi can stay, and then you change your opinion. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I have many doubts on everything, you know. Let me know what you guys are thinking, because I see a lot of people commenting. I see 183 people. Thank you guys. Make sure to smash the likes. I'm thankful. It's 11:17 right now in Barcelona. I work today, tomorrow I'm working, and we're doing this video because I wanna do these videos for you guys. And smash the likes, come on, it helps me a lot, it helps the video trending. And let's do a Q&A, because I always like to do a little Q&A. I see Curtis, I see Mr. MK, ARC, says, bro, is literally believing in Fat Porta's lies, lol. Well, I'm not believing, I'm talking about what's going on. Rafinha, the perseverance merchant, says, I agree with the Laporta. Xavi shouldn't have been pessimistic about the coming season, because Barça is a big institution and it looked bad for the brand. I agree with you. Mikal says, we need a left winger. If not, we won't win anything. Guys, what about Nico Williams, Dani Olmo? I don't know. Would you prefer Nico Williams, Dani Olmo? Kushan says, we are wasting money on Olmo. We need a DM. We do have Marc Casado, who played really well. Careful with Marc Casado, it could be the next Fermín López for the DM position, by the way. User 9964 says, if Laporta doesn't sign a big start this season, he will surely not return after the elections. Well, the elections are in 2 years, guys. Okay, so if we fail this season and we win the Champions League and the season after, things can change, guys. It's still so long, it's still so long. Walid says, Xavi physically stuff was shit. Now under Flick, you can see they train much harder and run like monsters, like they did against City a few days ago. It's the sad truth. It is the sad truth, guys, that Hansi Flick is a different level in terms of physicality. Like Xavi was just thinking, oh, tiki-taka, and that's it. No, we need to push hard, guys. Nowadays, we can't rely on the tiki-taka of 10, 15 years ago. We need to develop. It was literally 14 years ago when Guardiola invented the tiki-taka. 15 years ago. Are we still stuck on that tiki-taka? No way. Do you see Man City now? Do you see Man City now, how they play? It's a next level game, guys. It's a next level thing. These guys are physical, man. And they play in the Premier League. The speed is 10 times faster than us. We won in the penalties, guys. It's a preseason game. Don't put your hopes in a preseason game, okay? The first preseason game. It's nothing. It's preseason. These guys were smoking shishas. The players were smoking shishas and going clubbing and drinking vodka out of big jars like this literally a week ago. And now they're playing football in the United States, These guys are not playing at 100%. Maybe Barça was, but certainly Man City wasn't, I can assure you. Man City wasn't, but maybe Barça, of course, this was the youngsters, they were giving 100%. Reason why we were able to fight a lot. Almost reaching 200 viewers, only 76 likes. Come on, smash the likes. Let's do a competition, like competition. Shaq says, the problem starts with the coach. Xavi had a loser mentality and that resembled on the pitch. I agree with you, Shaq. You know what? I agree with you. The Matrix says, Xavi tried to ruin Roque with his statement for not giving him game time after he comes on and scores. I certainly think that Xavi didn't help Victor Roque with these statements. For sure, he didn't help him. For sure. Kushan says, how many signings do you think we will do this summer? I have no idea, man. Maybe one or two, man, to be honest. Not many. We do have a pretty solid squad right now. Can we add a couple signings? We can. We also have a lot of players that are loaned out, and that are back now. MG says, why do Laporta say we can sign Nico Williams? Well, he didn't clarify who could we sign. He said that we could make an investment of this scale. He said that we could make a signing of that scale, not sign Nico Williams. He didn't say we can sign Nico Williams perfectly. Woo, perfectly. We can sign him. We'll sign him. No, he said we can make an investment of that scale. I think that that he's right if the financial fair play allows it. And at the moment, it doesn't allow. So at the end of the day, if we go back to Victor Font's statement saying, as of today, we cannot sign Nico Williams, Victor Font is right. But maybe tomorrow, Laporta signs a couple deals, and suddenly, boom, we can sign Nico Williams. But Victor Font believes it won't happen. We'll see who's right in a couple of, weeks? Months? TK says, where do we confirm one-to-one rule? When do we confirm one-to-one rule? Important. Well, that's the thing. When do we confirm it? That's the thing. We're waiting for it. Laporta says, okay, we have the Nike thing, it's ready. We do have the 40 million from Libero that Libero didn't pay. Now somebody else is going to pay it. We don't know who. I guess privacy rules here. I don't know. I literally don't know. Rafinha, the Perseverance Merchant says, I'm not blaming Xavi for Roque. Roque is bad on the ball and he is exposed in Europe, but Xavi was an average coach. I agree with you. I think that Xavi was an average coach, not ready for Barcelona, and not blaming Roque. Too much. But Roque is certainly not ready right now. Certainly Victor Roque is, this guy needs to put a firework in his ass, man, and start running like no other. He needs a spirit. He needs to be. He needs to stop being shy. Certainly, stop being shy. because he's too shy. Dude, in Barcelona, you go kill it. You go kill it. You can't be like, oh my God, I'm afraid. No. This is not the mentality. If you're afraid, then you're not made for Barcelona. And Johan Cruyff said this. You know, if they don't want to come to Barcelona, they're not made for Barcelona. And if they're afraid, certainly, dude, they need to change their mentality as soon as possible. By the way, guys, we're going to finish it now. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. I see a lot of people commenting, 200 people right now live. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to be with you. Not every day. I know I'm not the most constant YouTuber in the platform, but I try my best. And the thing that I love the most is to share my passion with your passion. This is Barça, my friend. This is Blaugrana Planet, and this is your channel. So make sure you subscribe, guys. Hit the like button, and it makes a favor, of course. It gets the video trending, and smash the subscribe and the bell notification so you get notified as soon as I release my next video. Thank you, everybody. And now, and as I always say, Visca Barça, Visca Catalunya, and see you in the next video, baby. We're coming. Oh, yeah. Woo.